Hello friends, I am CA Mandar Telang, Joint Honorary Secretary of Bombay Chartered Accountant Society and also a Chartered Accountant practicing in the field of GST. Friends, as you are aware that 52nd GST Council meeting concluded on 7th of October, and immediately after the conclusion of the meeting, the press release was issued. As you are aware that press release only contains certain information about certain important recommendations or the decisions taken by the GST Council in its meeting. And if one needs to really look at the law, then till the time the circulars are issued or the law notifications are issued, there is no complete information or the complete legal information as far as those particular decisions are concerned. The GST Byte, friends, is a summary or highlight containing only certain important aspects in the press release per se. So while there are quite a few items which are contained in the press release which was issued on 7th of October, we thought that there are a couple of decisions, recommendations which are very much important and which we should bring to you in the form of this GST Byte. So friends, the two important decisions which we believe have come up in the GST Council's 52nd meeting is one is regarding the delay in the condonation of the appeal, which were filed belatedly or which were filed in a delayed manner, for which there was no power which was allowed, which was available with the commissioner to condone those delay, and therefore the only remedy perhaps was to go for all these assets to go before the High Court in the writ jurisdiction. So some relief in that particular in all those cases have been is basically granted in the GST Council's meeting. The second one is a relatively a different situation where the applicability of the GST on the guarantee commission, which was either given by the subsidiary or by the holding company to the subsidiary company or the associated companies, or by the directors to the company, those applicability of the GST on those services was in dispute for quite a long time, and certain issues, notices, etc., were also being issued. The GST Council in the current meeting discussed the applicability of the law as to what could be the possible scenario, and have decided to come out with a clarification or a necessary amendment in order to make sure that the GST becomes applicable on such corporate guarantees which are given by related concerns in certain circumstances. So friends, these are the two important aspects. I'll take up both the aspects one by one. When it comes to the amnesty scheme for filing of appeal against the demand, only two types of orders are included for the purpose. It appears that only two types of orders are included. Only the orders which are issued under section 73 or 74 would qualify for this particular amnesty. And if such orders are issued prior to 31st of March 2023, then the benefit of the amnesty should be available to the SSE. Now, for the purpose of this amnesty, even if you have not filed an appeal, or if you have filed an appeal but the appeal has been dismissed by the appellate authority on the ground that it has been filed belatedly, then if you file the appeal against those orders which were passed under section 73 or 74 prior to up to 31st March 2023, then you would be in a position to file an appeal against those orders up to 31st of Jan 2024. If you file the appeals before 31st of Jan 2024, then the appeals would be admitted and it would not be considered as a delayed, or that particular delay would be considered as a regularization of the filing of an appeal. Friends, in order to give you this particular facility, it has also been decided that whatever is the general pre-deposit which is contemplated in the law, which is 10%, now for such belated appeals you will have to pay an additional 2.5% deposit. So there will be a total 12.5% pre-deposit that you may be required to pay in order to avail the benefit of this particular amnesty. Not only that, you have to make sure that at least 2.5% of that particular, out of 12.5%, 2.5% has been paid by you by using your electronic cash ledger. So a scheme is welcome. I personally feel that as a result of this particular amnesty, a lot of SSEs are going to get benefit. So a little bit cost of 2.5%, that too in the form of a pre-deposit, should not be considered negatively. This is a very welcome step, and this is definitely a trade facilitation measure which has come out in this GST recommendation. Friends, the second important point is regarding the guarantee commission. So a dispute is going on as to if a particular director gives a particular director gives guarantee for the on behalf of the company to any financial institution on the basis of which the loan is given to that particular company, then whether the act of that particular director of giving this particular guarantee would amount to service. Same would be the case in the case of the uh, two associate entities. One may be a holding company of the other, and holding company may be giving certain guarantee so that the loans can be disbursed to the sister concern. Whether in such cases there could be an element of the service provided by the holding company to a subsidiary company. In this regard, the council's press release, which came on 7th of October, appears to give a direction that as they have basically divided into two buckets. One is the guarantee, personal guarantee given by the directors, and secondly, the guarantees given by the related concerns or entities. So as regards the guarantee given by the directors, what has been stated is that if no consideration has been charged, then the value would be deemed to be a zero, and therefore there would not be any GST on that particular personal guarantee. It would be not liable for GST. So no question of any giving any notional value to that particular part of as far as the personal guarantees of the directors are concerned. However, if the company is giving a guarantee, if there is a corporate entity which is giving a guarantee as regards the loans to be disbursed to the sister entities, etc., then a recommendation suggests that some amendments in the valuation rules would be made, and the value of that particular service would be considered to be 1% of the loan amount, and on that 1% of the loan amount, the tax would be chargeable. That is what the recommendation suggests. The amendment would come, obviously, whether it would be a clarificatory amendment or a prospective amendment, that one needs to really see. But this is what the rule is now saying, that some amendments will be made in the rule making in the rules. There is also a rule which says that if the other party is able to take the full credit, then there is no need for whatever value you declare will be considered as a full value of consideration. But that rule is not applicable as far as the valuation of the guarantees given by the corporates are concerned. It is very clear that the value would be considered as 1% of the amount of guarantee offered. So these were the two important updates. Apart from that, there are certain concessions which have been announced as far as the GST rates on certain items were concerned. So our molasses, which was earlier charged under 28%, is now being reduced, or is recommended to be reduced at 5%. Idea is that as a result of this reduction, the cash flow in the hands of the mills will increase, and they would be in a position to pay to the farmers for their sugarcane at an early point of time. That could be the logic on the basis of which this particular lowering of the rate recommendation has been made. Similarly, when it comes to the millet flour in the powder form, it has been stated that if that particular millet flour contains at least 70% of the millets by weight, then it would be exempted if it is unbranded or unlabeled, and in case of a labeled or branded cases, it would be the GST rates would be 5%. A clarification is also proposed to be issued in case of the job work services of processing of the barley into malt. There was a confusion whether it would be regarded as a job work in relation to food or food products, attracting a lower rate of 5% as against a residuary rate of 18%. Now it has been proposed to be clarified that in such cases, the lower rate of 5% would be applicable and not the residuary rate. Before concluding, I may mention that the steps are also being taken to form the GST Tribunal at the earliest. In this council's meeting, certain amendments have been proposed in the GST law so as to bring in line with the provisions of the appointment in respect of the appointment of the presidents and the members to the proposed GST Appellate Tribunal, so as to bring it in line with the Tribunal Reforms Act 2021. So the qualifications of the member and the retirement age of the president, to some extent, certain provisions have been recommended as far as the GST Tribunal Constitution is concerned. When it comes to certain decisions which were taken up in the 50th Council meeting, especially in respect of an ISD, it was stated that ISD will be made mandatory certain amendments are proposed now in this particular GST Council meeting to implement that particular decision. So amendment in the definition of an ISD or the manner in which the ISD distributes the credit, which has been included in section 20 of the CGST Act. Those were also taken up. Those amendments will now come. Those have been recommended. It was also a decision to implement a tax, a uniform tax on casinos, online gaming, horse racing on the face value at a rate of 28%, and it was supposed to be implemented from 1st of October 2023. Nothing has come, nothing against that, or no changes as far as that particular decision was concerned has come in the present GST Council meeting. But I believe that after the GST Council meeting, in the press conference, it has been clarified that there is no, as of now, there is no decision to roll back those decisions which were taken earlier, and things in that directions are already in progress. And as and when this particular decisions will be implemented by law, it would be done prospectively. The thought process is to appears to make it prospectively. So, friends, this is as far as the highlights of the GST Council meeting, which was conducted on 7th of October. I thank you for your patient hearing. And I hope that this particular GST Bytes have added some information to your, some information or some knowledge to you. Thank you, friends.